You want something special to do? Feel like your time is being well spent? Stop worrying about 2026 and 2028 and who the candidates might be then or might not be or how we should handle that. Focus on the fact that we have a major election coming up in this country in about 2 weeks, and that is the November elections of 2025 this year, in which there are 52,000 races on the ballot. And those races are incredibly important. So in Maine, for example, there while everybody's focusing on who's going to be running for senator, which by the way, the primaries aren't until next June. We have on the ballot this next month a question of whether or not we're going to dramatically limit absentee ballots. Why does that matter? 40% of voters in Maine use absentee ballots. You get rid of that, you've dramatically cut down on who votes in the state of Maine, and that will matter. It'll matter in 2026. It will also matter in 2028 when Republicans will have cut a number of Democratic voters out of the ballot. So if you care about what's going to happen down the road, focus in places like Maine where that's happening. Pennsylvania, there are three state Supreme Court judges on the justices on the ballot. Another case where people aren't really paying attention to those races, but they must be paying attention to those races because that's going to determine who gets to vote and what gerrymandering might look like going forward in the key swing state of Pennsylvania. Two gubernatorial races in New Jersey and Virginia coming up in November. You've got, as I say, races all over this country. You've got Proposition 50, I think it is, in California about pushing back against the gerrymandering that Texas did. So if you're really worried about what 2026 might look like or what 2028 might look like, your moment is now to look in November, because the trick to the November elections, the November 2025 elections, is that most of them will be determined by turnout. And as I keep saying, this election, and I suspect the next two elections, are not going to be partisan. They're about protecting our democracy. So you want to be voting for the pro-democracy candidates. And when that happens, in 2026, people who are running for office are going to say, whew, if I want votes, I better be protecting democracy as well. So for all the people who are like, what are we going to do? What can we do to stop him? And all sorts of, concerns about that. Literally, here's something you can do in the next 2 weeks to dramatically weaken Trump and the MAGA Republicans.